Hello everyone, my name is Felicia Wright with Project Confetti Kids, and I wanted to talk about what happens when we don't give kids the answer and then they arrive at the answer on their own. So it's actually, when kids are struggling, it's so hard not to give them the answer. But yesterday something kind of funny happened, and as an educator, I know how to work that situation, but my daughter, she was doing a little workbook, and she's just like, Mommy, look at this. She's like, it's 9. And I could tell she just guessed because I have the eye for it, and I could tell she didn't count. And she's like, it's 9. I was like, oh, really? And in that moment, I could have said, no, that's not right. Do it again. But I was like, oh, is it 9? She's like, yeah, it's 9. And I was like, okay, count it. Let's see if it's 9. So she counted it. She's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. And my goofball of a child was like, she's like, it's 7. That's not how you count. She cracked herself up. And I laughed in that moment too, because I was like, you goofball, like, like how to count. And she's like, it's 7, silly me. And I was like, okay. So, and I do this with all my kids in almost every single subject. When they just guess or give me some wild answer, I'm like, oh, okay, show me or explain to me why you think that is. And most of the time, in that effort to have to explain themselves as to why they're right, they realize very quickly, it's like, wait a second, this makes no sense. And so she laughed. She's just like, that's not how you count. She's like, it's 7. And I was like, yeah, it's 7, honey bun. And then she fixed it. And in that moment, it just reminded me of, like, we do not have to give kids the answer for the most part. We have to question and ask the right questions to help them get to the right answer. So also, by the way, I'm sitting with some artwork, my girl's artwork today, as my backdrop, which is actually really cute. But in a hybrid education model, I think it's important that we show kids how to think and how to think critically and how to think through things. And that's part of it. I didn't just give her the answer. I made her think about it, and I made her explain it. Because once you can explain something, you generally know it a lot better, because you're not just putting down answers on paper anymore. Now you're having to explain it to somebody else, and you actually have to really know something in order to explain it. So that's why I was like, really? Why? Show me why you're correct. And she's like, wait a second. And she gave me that look too. She's like, wait a second, this isn't right. So remembering to ask them more questions and have education be more of a discovery of discovering new things instead of right and wrong. Because the whole right and wrong space of, like, you either got this right or you got this wrong, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't teach them how to think. It's just, and then kids get into the space of, like, I want to get it right, I want to get it right. And sometimes it gets so bad where kids will just be like, okay, if it's not this, it's this. Is this? Is this? It's like, wait a second. No, we need to think about this, and we need to teach kids to think for themselves. So I just wanted to talk about that today because it was super important and actually really funny because of the way my child reacted to the whole situation. But just encouraging kids to think through things and explain things gets them to their answer faster. So I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Say goodbye to my lion.